Hey there, this is Workbench with Workbench Quagmire, back again with another day 52 of our free code camp Python certification in 100-ish days. Today we are going to work on the equivalent. So just as a reminder, we don't do the certification projects in the certification. Don't want to just drop the code in there and have people copy it. There's plenty of ways to copy code on the internet anyway. And so what we're doing is we're actually taking this budget app and we're creating a project tracker app. So instead of tracking the amount you spend on different categories, we track the amount of time we spend on different projects. So it looks very similar, has a lot of similar methods. And then today, what we're working on is the string method so that we can print this little deal here, but for our project. So let's just jump right into the code here. I'm not going to bother testing this one, I don't think. It's pretty complex. Probably just going to write it. I had to do some research on how to do this, so I couldn't figure it out. And I did learn some cool stuff about string formatting. So let's delete this line. And so what we have to do is we have in the instructions, it says the header has to be 30 characters with the, in that case, the category centered. In this case, it's going to be our project name. So the first thing we're going to do is, and this all has to be returned. We're going to create this title or header thing. I'm going to call it header is, and there's this cool string method thing that works. That's, you can actually use some shorthand to create the exact length you want and then like center things. So in this case, it's an F string, self dot name is what we want to center, or pad, and this I think is the correct term. And we want to pad it with asterisks. Then we want to center it within 30 character width. So, and close that out. We didn't do that correctly because this is all supposed to be in a curly bracket. There we go. And then we're going to create a new line because this is all going to return. This isn't going to print. So we have to create kind of each line as we go along. So let's just see. This needs to be self dot header. Let's go over here and test this out in Python. So Python from project tracker import project. So project 1 equals one. Let's call project 1. There we go. And then we want, if we print the project, we get an error. Returns a non-string type. Interesting. Oh, we haven't returned anything yet. Okay. Actually, we don't need this self in here. This is just a header. There's that. And there we have it. So it's centered up that right in the middle there. It doesn't look great. because there's no space, but that was the requirement. And if we go back to the code, what they're showing here, yeah, it butts right up against there. So not great for me. I'd probably put a space there, but that'd be even harder probably. Because you'd probably have to center this in like who knows how many characters or something, or maybe actually add padding around there. So maybe that's what we'll do is we will in our version, because it's cooler than theirs, we will make it look a little better by we will just say name equals format string space self dot name. All right, let's try that. Oh, that looks so much better. All right. So that is way cooler than theirs. So we've already made an improvement. The next thing we need to do is we have all these items. So all the transactions are logging against our project. We need to basically build up those by iterating through them. So what I mean is we're going to go through each item in the ledger. Then we're going to separate out the description and the time, and we're going to put those. We're going to format them using some more cool formatting, and then we're going to add them to a list of items or to items, and it's going to be a string. And then the last thing we'll do is the total, which is pretty straightforward. It's just a formatted string where we get the balance and put it in there. So items is just a blank string, empty string, and then we say for item in self dot not ledger. What do we call it? Time log. Project log. There we go. For item in project log, we want the description. We're just going to use shorthand is the item description, and we're going to format that. We only want the first 23 characters if you look at the instructions. So there we go. We got the first 23 characters. And then there's this method you can use called ljust to left justify 23 characters. And so now let's add our items. Oh, we have to concatenate them plus items. Go ahead and do our total plus total. We haven't created that yet, so we'll do that real quick. Our total is equal to the formatted string that just says total and self dot get balance. And then we want to that's all we want to do with that. The project uses decimal places, and we don't really need that. So let's see if we can test this out. Oh, we didn't add a description to the line. So items equals it's going to be plus equals formatted string, and we'll just put the description in there. Then we're going to need a new line. All right, now let's check that out and see if that works. Then we're going to project one dot time budget. We're going to give it 40 hours. Then project one dot log hours. So we're going to use 2 hours, and we are going to use that to plan meetings, because that's always a good idea. And then we're going to do another one, and we're going to have 1 hour for meetings, because 2 hours of planning, it was a Abraham Lincoln. If I had 6 hours to cut down a tree or something like that, I'd spend 5 hours sharpening the axe and an hour cutting down the tree. And so now, if we print our project, what do we get? There we go. We get all of our items here, left justified with our total at the bottom. So that's working. Now we just got to grab the amounts, the times. So goals, item, and then in this case, this needs to be a string, because it's not going to be a string to begin with. So item time, it's a string. And then on this one, we can do some formatting here to say, because the requirement was it could be no more than 7 digits, including 2 decimals, but we don't need that. So we're just going to, leave that out and see how it looks. And then item is actually the description. Let's see. It's going to be items plus equals the description, which is a string, plus items, or in this case, oh, time. It's going to be time plus a new line. Okay, and then we want to print. I think that's it. Move this up here. Yep. All right. Line 52. Unmatched F string. Oh. This is why a lot of people use double quotes, and I don't most of the time. So let's try this again. There we go. Project 1 equals project 1 project 1 dot time budget 40 project 1 dot log hours, so 2 hours for meeting planning, and then 1 hour for, oh man, for meetings. Someday I'll learn to type. Not today. Okay. Now let's print the project. And there we go. It's even. Yep, that works out. So that looks pretty good. It's not exactly what I want. So let's see here. I think that if we go back here and change this to the 7, like their thing. 7F, maybe. It might work, might not. We're about to find out. Nope, that didn't work. This is what works in the project, so let's see if it works here. Yep, that's better. That's not exactly what we want, but it works, and we can log partial time because there's nothing that says these times have to be they have to be integers. So we could have 2.5 or whatever. We can't really log like minutes right now, but this is a pretty basic project. So that's all we're going to tackle for this video. That was day 52 of our free code camp Python certification in 100-ish days. And so thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you for day 53 tomorrow.